I did expect to do well this year because I had trained quite hard at the start of the year. But to sit here in December and have five titles and have won the Asian Championships with India is not something I would have probably guessed. I'd like to be the most successful with maybe bigger titles in the few years to come. They've been, I mean, winning 10Ks is tough as it is, and even the two wins that I had in the five and the three were quite tough finals. So surely happy with all the performances, but it's time to push up the rankings now. So not a lot of people know this, but 12 months ago, I actually went to two tournaments in Doha and two in Scotland in December last year, and I had a conversation with my parents that that would be my last four tournaments. So I was actually going to stop playing squash at the end of December last year. So little story, I got selected for the Commonwealth Games in April, and then Lorient was sort of a preparatory tournament for that. And then I won it. I was seeded to play the first seed in the second round, and I scalped in 3-love. So after that, I was quite confident that I would go on and win the event. And having lost four finals before that in a row, yeah, that felt pretty good. It's been nice because I've beaten actually in two of the finals I beat a same player, but like that's in France and Australia. They were pretty similar draws. But the one in Malaysia was quite big because I did beat the Malaysia number 2 and 3 on the way to the title. So to just see that I can do it against different players in different cities, and under different conditions was very, gave me a lot of confidence after, that win that I can go on and maybe, win more titles no matter where they are and against, whoever they might be. This year, I felt so much love from the Indian, just the Indian squash community. I think I was not very known or noticed until, maybe the start of the year and until the Commonwealth Games. But post the Commonwealth Games, I've had so much support. My Instagram messages are always flooded by, juniors and, parents and Chennai obviously is my home court. The glass court in Chennai is where I've grown up playing for the last 15, 16 years. But I think Jodhpur was the best of them all. Like just the support that came out in the glass court and the way the tournament was put up was just it was almost sort of like a platinum event feel. So in Chennai and maybe the other few tournaments, I had some pressure on me because I knew I was stepping on court. I was maybe the better player or higher ranked, but I didn't have that with Zahid because of the reputation that he holds and the results that he's had even against Indian players. But I think having watched his final with Vela, who's my doubles partner, and just analyzing what I could do and what maybe would work to my strengths, and obviously a huge push from the Indian crowd being in India, I think that played a huge role in me being able to beat him that night. Yeah, firstly, I mean, I guess the Commonwealth Games was a dream come true. I think any athlete who's a squash player is always looking to go to the Commonwealth Games, play for their country. And, it was a big moment for me and my family. It was my first sort of like team event with the big boys, like you might call like Saurav and Ramit, and then the girls like Joshna and Deepika. So just, being around them, seeing how they prepare for matches or what they do during events, bonding with them and spending time with all of them. Obviously, watching Saurav win, historic medal and, him again winning a medal in the doubles, just the way he was taking care of his body through the 10 days. So much that I could pick up the little things that maybe I could never have got just by speaking to them. So that was huge. Personally, I think the singles didn't go the way I wanted it to, but I think we put up a real good show in the doubles. Me and my partner were one of the, if not the youngest teams in the top eight. Something really that we can look forward to in the future and something to build on. So that one of the win against Scotland was, one of the best nights of squash that I've ever lived. So it was great. It was just really good. So we're like partners, and then we go against each other a lot, in singles. So it's like a good contrast. But then first we have the World Doubles in 2024. I feel like that'll be a good platform to see if we've developed a better relationship, or we're playing better, or have we improved as a doubles team, things we can change. I mean, eventually the goal is to bag a medal at the Commonwealth Games. So I think, yeah, we're really looking forward to it. Right now, it's a bit busy. We're all preparing for the Asian Games next year, and that's a singles event and a team event. But I think once that's out of the way, then all focus will be on the World Double Championships. Making history to be the first Indian team is obviously, I mean, who would have thought, like even 12 months ago that I'd be saying, I'm an Asian team champion or a gold medalist, like we call it. I think the semi-finals, I lost 11-9 in the fifth in the opener, and that was such a hit to me. Just to sit there and all the pain and the suspense of watching Saurav go to five in the next match in the semis with Yao. I mean, sort of showed, why he is who he is by winning that match 11-9 in the fifth, and then a fairly easy battle in the final with Kuwait. But I mean, we're going to take that week as one of the best weeks. It's Saurav's first time having played the event so many times. Ramit and Vela went to the event last year, unfortunately settled for silver. So like I said, I was probably the lucky charm because it was my first time. I think the first goal for the year was top 100. 72 wasn't really something I thought I'd get to, but I think 3 10K wins really helped that. I think it just comes down to the credit of I've started working with Paul Bell in Scotland. Uh, he's really helped me, tweak things in my game, take it to the next level. He's one of those coaches who's always understood my body. It's a little different to other athletes with with the amount of load I put on my body or the way I recover for tournaments. I think he's the first one who's been very open to me deciding things and him helping in that way. And I think that's what has been the key to my rise up. He's implemented sessions with my coaches that I work with in India. He gives me ideas that I can take and bring back home. I've been putting them to work, and that's what's the reason for my rise. So I have nationals, the Indian nationals starting day after tomorrow. So I'm currently preparing for that, and then there's another 10K a week later in India that ends the year. I've sort of not looked at it as a season. I've looked at it as a year because I didn't really start. I started my first tournament in May, which is you would say the end of last season, but I've looked at it as a 2022 more than a 22-23 season. So these two events to end the year by the next season, which will be next September, yes, I'd surely want to be playing the platinum events. If I can get a few good wins in the first 2 months of next year, I think I might be able to make the main draw of the world champs. So yeah, that's the goal. I think making the main draw of the world champs is the first real goal. I think that would be 58 players. So maybe a few big wins in Feb. I think there's an event in Washington and Calgary, which are two bronze events. So hopefully if I put on a show there, then I can rise up. Yeah.